Okay, so I want to go over some very, very simple basics when it comes to manual therapy. And the confusion is that's well defined in fitness and strength and conditioning, but not so much in manual therapy. It's just simple, active, passive, dynamic, and static. So let's go over this kind of thing about 4 quadrants, right? So I want you to think of 4 squares that we're going to be working with here. So the first thing to think about is the client moving or not? Now this sounds silly easy, but let's go over it. Jared here is going to go ahead and give me a straight leg raise. So what he's demonstrating is this. The fact that there's movement happening already makes this under the category of dynamic, okay? The big difference is if he does it, go ahead and do it, is this active dynamic. Go ahead and give him one more time. Active dynamic. Now if I come and I do it, right? This is dynamic passive, right? Because it's being done to him, not by his effort, all right? Now, so the whole point of dynamic just means, is there motion in the joint? Which here there is in both of them. The big thing is active or passive is who's doing the effort. Is it by his voluntary effort, which makes it active? Or if it's an external source, which would be me, it would make it passive. If he put a rope around his leg and did it, right, because it's not by the effort of the targeted limb, it would also be passive. So let's go over this. So we're already up here. Now you can see there's no joint moving. So we're at static, okay? If I just hold him here, just like a nice stretch where there's no effort by Jared at all, this would be static passive, okay? Now if we held him here, and I said, now go ahead and hold. Don't let me hold. So now, by his own effort, there's no movement, but he is holding it. This is now static active, okay? Now, I'm not going to go over it today, but you really want to think about these because in a therapy session, how much more can you open up the session by using dynamic, which would be movement, dynamic active, movement by the client, dynamic passive, movement by the therapist, and then static, right? Static passive by the therapist, or static active, hold right there, by the client, okay? So I just want to start to kind of tease that into your brain a little bit as we start to progress with some of these basic videos for manual therapy.